This is my poopers. Milo, if he wants to come up here. Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah. Hi. Oh, yeah. My big boy. So you guys want to hear about how I got a $100 round trip to Europe? Well, stick around because I am ready to tell you. Hi, Travel Bees. So great to see your smiling faces for yet another week. And I mean, I guess I don't know if you're actually smiling, but I'd like to think that you're smiling if you're watching this video, so I'm just going to assume. I have many people ask me how I can afford to take the travel that I do, and honestly, I do it the absolute cheapest way possible because that's how I like to travel. And I know that this way isn't for everyone, but my tip today will actually help anyone who is looking to travel save some money. No matter what kind of traveler you are. If you're watching this, you're obviously curious though, right? Who wouldn't take a round trip to Europe for $100? That's a steal. I don't care who you are, I'm taking that trip. So how did I actually get a $100 round trip to Europe? Well, it was actually quite simple what I ended up doing to be able to get it. So I'm gonna share with you guys from start to finish how I was able to get that $100 ticket to Budapest specifically, but it could work for other countries as well. So now that you guys are intrigued, let's get into it. Well, it all started in 1994. Just kidding. It actually started in 2019. I went on a trip to Portland, Oregon. Oh, absolutely gorgeous, by the way. I loved Portland, Oregon. I had never been to the West Coast before. That was my first solo trip that I actually took, and it was better than I could have ever imagined. So I got to see mountains on beaches, which being from Florida, that wasn't a thing. It isn't a thing. So I was really excited to be able to see that, and I saw one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life with like live elk just grazing in the grass. It was like something out of a movie. I'll post that picture right here for you. So when I went to Portland, I obviously took a flight, right? I took a flight with American Airlines. And like on any flight, they're gonna offer you their blah, blah, blah card or credit card, whatever it might be, right? Because they're just trying to make their money. And I usually ignore it, but this time it was different and I didn't ignore it. I actually acknowledged the announcement and listened to what they had to say. And they were offering a credit card deal with no annual fee, 60,000 bonus points awarded, plus points that I was currently getting for the trip I was taking at that point. All of that along with 0% APR interest pretty much for the first year that I had the card. And when I heard all of that, I was intrigued. Just as you were intrigued to watch this video, it piqued my interest. So I looked a little bit further into it and inquired about more details. But I'm a very skeptical person, especially when it comes to marketing, because that is something that I do in my day job is marketing. So when it comes to marketing and sales, I am very skeptical about certain deals out there. So I asked questions. The first question I had that came to mind was, how much is 60,000 bonus points actually worth? Is 60,000 bonus points worth one trip? Is that worth it? What does it equate to is what I wanted to know. So I asked the flight attendant, but I also happened to be sitting next to a lady who was like an expert and pro and had multiple travel cards. She had told me some of the tactics that she used to be able to get some of her flights. So I was in good company and got some great advice from both of them. I found out that 60,000 bonus points on this specific airline that I was flying on. Stay tuned to hear what card that I have. But I found out that 60,000 bonus points, or points in general, equates to one round trip to Europe and one round trip domestic in the US. Or I could do 3 domestic in the US. Now this piqued my interest even more because who doesn't want free flights? And I was like, well, what's the catch? Because there has to be a catch. And you might be thinking at this point, well, why did I have to spend $100? Obviously, if we're talking about using bonus points, you would think that your flight is free. It's not entirely free. And I guess the catch would be that you have to pay for taxes. But before you get all scared about paying taxes, it is quite affordable. Again, $100 worth of taxes for me to go to Europe. And let me just say how much taxes are in the US. A round trip in the US, the taxes that I'd be paying on that flight is $11. I just booked a flight to Washington State and it only cost me $11 to book that flight. So that's cheap. These taxes can vary on the specific flights that you're choosing depending on the time, but you get to choose that, and they're very upfront about what those taxes are going to cost. So you might be asking, why do they do this? Why do they give you so many points for you to sign up? Well, of course they want your business. They want you to use their credit card, and they want to be able to get that money from you and hopefully get that interest from you eventually. Now, I am not promoting you to go out there and get a bunch of credit cards just so that you can get free flights. You can do it over time, but I only recommend this to people who have stable credit and are responsible with their credit cards. If you have a crazy amount of debt and you can't add on another credit card and you're not paying off the credit cards that you have right now, do not try this option. You don't want to apply for a card and get denied, but if you have decent credit and you want to apply for this card and you are responsible with that money, I highly recommend this option. I am one of those people that I have my credit card. I use my credit card for everything, but it is a direct outlet to my debit card. So anytime I get my paycheck, I pay off my credit card. That's what I do. And I highly recommend you do the same, because then it's free money. And when I signed up, they gave me those 60,000 bonus points after a certain amount of time. You have to keep your account open like 3 months. And sometimes they do like you have to spend a certain amount of money in 3 months or whatever it might be to try and encourage you to use the card. But if you pay off your credit card before the end of the billing cycle, then you actually avoid paying that interest, which is duh, why wouldn't you? There's also some other perks that come with the credit card. You can get travel insurance. Some of them help with your rental cars and protect you if you purchase a rental car. Also, make sure that you get no foreign transaction fees on your travel card, especially if you plan on using it in another country, because those transaction fees can really build up. That is the number one thing to keep in mind when getting a credit card, because there are many travel cards out there that you can utilize, and those credit cards are protecting your money. So instead of you worrying about losing cash, you can use your credit card and they'll protect you if there is any fraudulent charges on your card. Now, I want to mention that the best deals for these cards are actually on flights. So the next time you take a flight, keep in mind that their credit card might be a better deal than what they're offering online. My specific credit card is not offered online that I got on the plane. And sometimes the credit card deals can fluctuate depending on what the time of year it is or if they want to do an extra incentive. But I have from an inside source that my specific credit card, which is the American Airlines AA Advantage Barclays credit card, that's my card, and I love this card. It is great. It has served me well, and I got 60,000 bonus points, which they are still offering right now, American Airlines. It can fluctuate between 40, 50, and 60,000 points. Still, nonetheless, you know, keep it in mind when you go on those flights. So now you know my secret of getting really cheap flights, and I highly recommend you using this if you have the means to be able to do so. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave me a comment and I will be sure to answer. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time, and I am so excited to be here every week with you guys, and I hope you guys find this helpful. It's a crazy time right now, but travel is coming back. Stay tuned for my Travel Tip Tuesday coming up, because this Tuesday coming up, I'm going to be talking about international travel. It did get postponed last week, but I'm excited to get it back on track this week and hear what you guys have to say. So tune in live on Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you guys, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. I'll see you later. Have a great one. Bye.